Good afternoon, everybody. It's your girl Judy, and welcome to my channel, The Main Ingredient. I'll be cracking myself up because I'm not gonna lie. It done been a few times I came up on here saying something else. But y'all catch my drift. I hope y'all are having a beautiful day today. I am, even though it's dreary. It's dreary out here where I'm at in Chicagoland. But I'm having a decent day. I wanted to get up on here while it's on my mind before I forget and talk to these young ladies. But let me first direct this to mothers. Moms, please talk to your daughters. Please talk to your daughters. Now, I'm a mother of daughters, and I talk their head off about the gentleman that they may choose to entertain one day, because I'm not an unrealistic mother. I know that my daughter, they're all teenagers, and there's going to come a point in their life when they're interested in a young boy, and it is my job to guide them on the right thing to look for, the right qualities to look for in somebody that they may be interested in. Initially, you're going to be physically attracted to them. Cool, no problem, but that's not enough, right? So, teach your daughters the importance of, learning how to decipher or determine what kind of boy deserves your attention outside of just what he looks like. You need to teach your daughters to, I'm in traffic, so I got to keep my eye on the road, y'all. Look for a boy, look into his character. Okay, your hair looking like this, your face looking like that. Hopefully you in school and you're showing up to school and you're doing your work. Not copying, not paying somebody to do the work for you, but actually doing your work, putting effort to your work, your studies. But then the character of them, how they treat you, okay? How they honor your boundaries, how they, the company they keep. And that's going to be a little tougher than not in today's world. But so you can always tell how a gentleman is, his character, by the company that he keeps. And if his friend group, if they wildin', there's some sort of influence there. There's going to be some sort of influence there. And I really want to lean in on a gentleman. Teach your daughters how to set boundaries for a gentleman. And if he disrespects those boundaries, reinforce them one other time. And then if he continues to disrespect and or cross the boundary, that's not somebody you want to give your time. That's not somebody you want to entertain. Because unbeknownst to that individual, whether they have malice or ill intention or not, at some point, if they're disrespecting your boundaries and you all are together and something is going on, this person doesn't give me the feeling that they're going to keep your child safe, your child secure. Because when we're individually interacting, you're not even honoring my boundaries. So we get around other peers, right? And something is going down that I may not be down with. What are you gonna do if I'm trying to bail out? You gonna try to persuade me to stay? You gonna try to persuade me to do something that I really don't want to do anyway when I'm feeling uncomfortable? Have these conversations with your daughters. And I say this because I'm out here taking care of my business, and I got around this teenage, they a couple. They more than friends. Like teenage couple. Y'all in high school. Y'all upperclassmen. Y'all between juniors and seniors for sure. You're not college. Cool, no problem. And they was going back and forth about going to a friend's house, going to a mutual friend's house to hang out. Cool, no problem. I guess they figuring out the transportation or whatever, and on their way to getting en route, the gentleman mentions to her something about somebody is or isn't going to be there at a specific time, other than what they thought. She was cool with that. So he like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So while we passing the time waiting on whoever, I'm gonna smoke. You gonna smoke? She's like, yeah, I probably hit it. Oh, whatever like that. Real cool. He said, all right, cool. Did y'all jacket some more? Then he was like, oh yeah, such and such say, they bring in drinks or whatever. And she like, ugh. And he like, what you mean, ugh? Why you turning your face up like that? And she's like, because I don't want to drink. And he's like, what's the problem? She said, because I don't like to drink. I'm not with drinking. He like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, you tripping or whatever. And she was like, I mean, I guess. And I just looked, and part of me wanted to say so bad, girl, if you don't want to drink, don't. You already finna be smoking, which you shouldn't be, but I'm not finna sit here and tell you I smoked as a teenager. So I'm not finna sit here and be like, oh my God, you're so, you know what I'm saying? I know what teenagers is doing nowadays. I used to be a teenager. I wanted so bad to tell her, if you don't want to drink, don't drink. You already smoking. That's enough. But I ain't say nothing because, these kids, I'm not saying they disrespectful, but I ain't finna find out because I don't play that, okay? And I ain't trying to be out here in these streets with somebody else cheering, cutting up. You feel what I'm saying? But he was blue in his own right, and she was blue. And my thing is, she set a boundary. She not for drinking. Y'all are going to be in an atmosphere amongst others. So if she's not comfortable doing all the activities in which you are supposed to be, will be in that environment, that's okay. How you finna catch an attitude with somebody who don't want to drink? That's a boundary. Teach your daughters how to implement boundaries and stand on them when they are dealing with these boys. Because if he can't respect your boundary, then that's a character flaw. That means he can't keep you safe. That means he can't keep you secure. That means, God forbid, if something happens in this environment other than drinking that she not with, what you gonna do? What you turning your nose up for? Do better. Somebody tell you they not with something, that's okay. That's okay. Teach your daughters how not to be in environments with anybody. And I'm sorry, especially with the opposite sex. I mean, y'all two kids, y'all the opposite sex. What y'all need to be getting high and drinking for? What you finna do? You need to be aware of your surroundings. Not only concerning the opposite sex, but just everybody that's going to be around. You don't want to put yourself in an unfavorable position, and definitely among somebody who is not going to respect your boundary, that you may not want to drink on top of smoking in this environment amongst other individuals. And I know for a fact at least one other boy was going to be there, if not more. Come on now. We have to do better. We have to teach our daughters how to guard themselves and how to stand on their boundaries and walk away from anyone, whether it's your little boo thing or whatever, or even a friend of the same sex. If people in your surroundings are not going to honor and respect your boundaries, you don't need to be around them. Because if something happens, God forbid, they are not going to be in their right mind. First of all, you inebriated off alcohol and drugs to properly step in and do what need to be done in the event something take place. Don't put yourself in an unsafe situation. Talk to your daughters about being in environments and being pressured into doing things in these environments that you don't want to do, and stand on it. And if you're not comfortable, baby, take your behind back home. You know what? I don't even want to go no more. I'm going to have to catch you next time. I'm going to have to catch you later. I'm going to catch you on the next go round, maybe when we on some one-on-one. But all this mixing and mingling of different additives, hallucinogens, inebriating, substances, whatever you want to call it, plus other people, and I can't even tell you, I don't even want to do that. I'm already doing this. Nah, I'm going to catch you on the next go round. Period, point blank. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to go there. And you don't have to be around nobody who don't respect your boundary when you tell them, I don't want to do that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Period, point blank. Talk to your daughters. Because there's too much going on outside just regularly. These kids out here moving around how they moving around. And they're not being more aware, and they're not being more confident in their own know and their own comfort. We can't have it. So if I had to say in this encounter what I would call the main ingredient missing from the interaction that this young lady had with her little boo thing, was standing and enforcing her boundaries. You can't do that, because if you do it once, if you compromise once, you'll compromise again. And 9 times out of 10, you've already compromised in an area when you trying to put up a stop sign and somebody like, what, you tripping? No, you tripping. Respectfully, you tripping. And you can, but you ain't gonna do it with me. I wish I had a me. I wish I had half of me when I was growing up in those type of spaces. I may not have bumped my head as much. I don't know. But I wish I had half of me. In the areas in which you lacked when you was coming up, it's your job to be what you did not have for your child or your children, especially your daughters, in this space that we living in. That's my thought process. That's how I be trying to move. Be what you needed as a little girl. Be the woman, and or become the woman that you needed as a little girl. And that's what I'm trying to do with my own daughters. And when I do come in proximity to a young lady that just so happened to be spilling her guts to me, I'll say a little something. But this young lady wasn't really spilling. I was just in the vicinity of her and her little boo, and I heard. And I wish, a great part of me wish I would have said, girl, you ain't got a drink. But I didn't. Because these kids is different today. And I'm not saying they was giving that vibe of like disrespectful, but you have to be mindful out here in this world. There's just too much going on, and I got people to come home to. Okay. Keeping it real. So stand on your boundaries, young ladies. Mothers, teach your daughters to stand on their boundaries. Don't waver in your boundaries with your interactions with your little boo thing and or your friends. And if they really for you, they'll respect it. They ain't gotta like it, but they'll at least respect it. And if they don't, Bye. Next. I'm not finna put my life, baby. I'm not finna potentially put my life in harm's way because you want to be out here doing what you want to do the way you want to do it. And if something kick off, you're not even gonna hold me down. Nope. We're not taking them type of chances. Stand on your boundaries. And if people want to step on them or cross those boundaries, you give them one more chance. Because some things, we ain't got time for 3 strikes. There's so much going on out here, you don't even know if you're going to live to strike out 3 times with somebody when it comes to certain stuff. Stop playing. Set your boundaries. Stand on them boundaries. Somebody cross them, you check them one more again. After that, we're done. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. Because I shouldn't be in an environment where I feel like I got to look out for me all by myself. And all these people that's supposed to be around me, supposed to care about me, supposed to be my people, supposed to be my friends. Yeah, all right. Y'all be safe out here. Talk to your daughters. Teach your daughters what you weren't taught. Some of the banana peels that we slipped on when we were younger, it's our job to clean them up for our daughters. And be the women that we needed when we was coming up. Period, point blank. Y'all like this type of content? Be sure before you exit this video, give me a thumbs up, okay? Hit me in the comments and let me know of an experience you may have had that you remember as a youngster in that space, or maybe even something that your daughter may have shared with you. Maybe you can expound on something for her. Or maybe I can help you expound on it. I don't know. Leave me a comment. And then if this video resonates with you in a way where you know that somebody else could benefit from this message, please share. All right. I will see you guys next time. Y'all be blessed.